Well, good evening, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, man, this literally does not work. Man, I'm trying to understand what the heck happened. Seems like the blink of an eye, it went from being hot as hell and burning my ass up, needing the fans, ceiling fans blowing, and everything else. Being out here in shorts and t-shirt and sweating my ass off to now freezing my tail off. It's like 55 degrees out here. What happened? I was with COVID. I'm trying to keep everybody safe and doing, I don't want to have a whole bunch of people crammed into the man cave, up close, and we're keeping that air and everything. So that's why I said, hey, let's build the outdoor set. This will be great. And I was trying to get one of those, tall outdoor heaters. And I figured, man, I got plenty of time for that. I was going to wait until I got paid and had a little extra cash and stuff. And apparently I waited too long because I think the restaurants are out there buying them because they figure, if we're going to have a business, we need to be able to put people outdoors to space them around because literally you can't find them. You go on a site and say, oh, yeah, we got in stock. It's like, no, we ain't got those in stock. Okay, no, we can't even order them. And you go online and you look at them and it'll say delivery in January. Well, January, I won't need them in January. Shit, the football season will be just about over by then. I need one now. I'm cold right now. But I've got one of the, propane heaters that's like, but I don't know that that'll work as well because it'll all kind of go up. So you'll need to be close to it. But, or maybe I need to move the camera so I sit like right here close to the fire to stay warm or something. But I got to figure out something because it's cold out here. It's just amazing how quickly things change. Now, the Denver Broncos have just released quarterback Blake Bortles. It's amazing because Blake Bordels was the number 3 pick in 2014 by the Jaguars. And here he is. Can't find a job. Matty Ice, after signing that record-breaking $30 million contract, the very first man at $30 million, the writing's on the wall that he's not going to be returning to the Atlanta Falcons. Phillip Rivers, who's made his way from the Chargers to the Colts, there's talk about, will they go to Jacoby Brissett? You're seeing all these quarterbacks. Joe Flacco, who was Super Bowl winning quarterback, who went to Denver as well and ended up going to the Jets and is the backup to Sam Darnold, and I think he may be playing. But you're seeing all these quarterbacks that are unemployed, where teams are trying to find quarterbacks. Now, the funny thing is people are always saying, well, let's trade this guy or let's trade that guy. Let's make trades, and it was funny because people would say, let's trade Dez Bryant and get something for him. That's great in theory, but reality is trading is not how you build a team. It's kind of like free agency. Give you an example of free agency. The Washington football team forever has been signing the biggest free name agents. Remember when they got Albert Haynesworth, the first person to sign a $100 million contract on the defense and literally laid his ass on the field and did nothing? Or think about the 2016 New York Giants that spent like $250 million on their defense that played pretty well 2016, but since then, it just was bad. And they just literally got in cap hell. They had to eat like Odell Beckham Jr.'s, crappy contract, because they paid him too much and they had to let him go and they ended up with a lot of dead money. The only time that you've seen actually a team go out and do a lot of trades and free agency that actually worked, shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles because it actually worked. They actually timed it just right. They got the right players for the system. But you can look at the Eagles now and say, they've got a train that's coming down the tracks at about 100 miles an hour that's running away, and it's headed right for them. Their cap situation next year is totally hell. It's screwed up. They have, I think, $263 million scheduled for next year. Give me an example. They signed, I told Philly 500, don't act like I didn't tell you. They signed Deshaun Jackson. I said, you can't sign an old guy like that. I said, old players that have been injured don't just stop getting injured. And he's hardly played for him. He's out again this week for him. And when you look at their situation, here's the problem for him. You know, I think his hit this year is a $9 million hit. Next year, it's like a $10 million hit. And even if they say, you know what, Deshaun Jackson, we're going to move on from you, you still got $5 million in cap money, cap hit. Now, we've made some trades before, and very rarely have they worked out when you think about the Roy Williams trade, where we gave up 2 number ones for Roy Williams. I'm sorry, not Roy Williams. Roy Williams, it was a number one and some other picks. I'm thinking about from Seattle. Joey was his first name. Galloway, Joey Galloway. That was it. We gave up 2 number ones for him. He immediately came in, was injured, and never really played for us. The way you build a team in football is not through trades. Now we got lucky with Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper, you know, we gave up a number one for him. More than likely, we wouldn't have found a guy in the draft that year as good as Amari Cooper. And he's been really, really good for us. But that's not the norm. And you could look at some teams and say, they've made big trades. Did it pay off for them? I'm sitting here thinking about the Rams. Now, the Rams are a good team. But looking at Jalen Ramsey and giving up 2 number ones, was he really worth that much? Knowing that you got to pay him now, too, because his contract is up? I don't know. The time will tell. Jamal Adams, he's hurt right now, too. And you think about what Seattle gave up for him. Was that worth it as well? You know, you see these big trades, but you don't necessarily see Super Bowls. The only really true, tried and true way of building a team that doesn't hurt you in the long run is through the draft. It's the bottom line. New England adds a few players here or there, or they may trade a little bit for value, with, you know, because they know I've got another player that can step in. I can go ahead and get me some more picks for this guy instead of paying him because he wants a big fat raise. And that's how you win in football. So when somebody says, take a Michael Gallup, let's trade Michael Gallup and get some players for the defense. It's not how you're going to win. If anything, you're going to stunt your growth. Now, as far as Dak Prescott goes, it's funny because now you're hearing, you know, people saying that if Andy Dalton comes in and plays real well, it's going to be a problem for the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to have to make a decision. Probably if they end up making a decision and saying, we're just not going to pay Dak, we're going to let him walk, it would probably be one of those decisions that would come back to bite him in the ass. Andy Dalton is a good quarterback. But you need a quarterback that's going to be around for a length of time. And I'm not sure with the age and the miles that have been on Andy Dalton, that Andy Dalton will be the long-term answer. Because as we see about guys, see about teams, in the recent history of drafting quarterbacks, finding quarterbacks is the hardest thing in the world to do. Instead, Jaguars aren't sure that Gardner Minshew is the guy. They use a number 3 pick to get him. Number 3. And he can't even make it on Denver. And Denver has been missing a quarterback since Peyton Manning retired. And it's not like they haven't tried. Teams out there need a quarterback. And if you think, because here's what I think a lot of people, some of the talking heads have out there said, if you take Dak Prescott and say, you know what, Dak, go out there and you sign a deal, and we'll figure it out from there. I can guarantee you that there's teams that would line up right now to overpay Dak and be happy to have his services, that would look at it and say, if we bring Dak in right now, we're a better team than we were without Dak. Dak getting the job is not going to be a question. The question will be is, will the Cowboys be smart enough to say, yeah, we need to get this thing done sooner than later? Then again, they haven't, have they? They haven't, have they? But the best thing the Dallas Cowboys can do And we're going to get some guys in there playing, because even as much as I was excited about the free agents that we were bringing in, I thought for sure, oh my God, Dontari Poe. We got Dontari Poe. He's a big cog in the middle. He's going to plug shit up. He's going to stop some shit. He's going to be a beast. Hold up. You know, hold up. On that note, I tell you what, Dontari Poe, whoo boy. Dontari Poe. Well, the good thing about Dontari Poe's contract is they can get out of it easy. How about that? Dontari Poe is going to need to step up and show us a whole lot more than what he has so far, because, well, it ain't worked. We saw Gerald McCoy. I was like, oh, man, we got Gerald McCoy slimmed down, man. He is, like, excited to be here. He has dreamed about playing on Thanksgiving and Monday Night Football and everything else. He going to make a difference for our defense. I keep forgetting that this is a sipping rum, Bob Kelly. You taught me. You don't. It's a sipping rum. You take a little sip, a little taste, okay? Not a shot, even though you need a shot when you start talking about the Cowboys. And then we signed Emerson Griffith. I said, oh, man, Emerson. Oh, you know, he's named after Everson. Whew. And thus far, these free agent signings and trades aren't panning out the way we think. And very rarely do they. You look at the players that the Cowboys have had success with. How many of them weren't homegrown? Seriously. How many times have we gone through and we've traded for somebody and they've played lights out other than Amari Cooper? How many free agent quarterbacks have we had that have been successful for us? You want to win in the NFL? You've got to have homegrown talent. If you do a project, if you try and cut corners, skip ahead, or look for the quick finish for it, for most projects, I can guarantee you, it's not going to last. The way you build a house, in my mind, forget the prefab. Forget about this particle board here and things like that. Forget about the shortcuts. As I go down the country there and I work on that duplex I was working on that I built 12 years ago, that there's not even a settlement crack in there. I may need to paint it, spackle it up a little bit because they put nail holes and stuff like that in it. But the structure, the foundation and stuff, I didn't cut corners on. I built it piece by piece. I know where everything is in that house because I put it in there myself. And it'll last probably a lot longer than I will. And that's what you have to do with the football team. Everybody wants a quick fix these days. Let's go get this guy and that guy and we'll plug him in and automatically it's going to fit. It's not the way it's going to work. And if the Dallas Cowboys ever want to get back to the team that was a consistent dynasty, you've got to do it the old-fashioned way. You got to do it through the draft. Got to do it through the draft. And this year is the opportunity. We still have shades of Jason Garrett's philosophy and players and things like that. This year, you have more draft picks than you've had in forever. And more than likely, they're not going to be the bottom end of the draft. They'll be somewhere in the top 20, even if we make the playoffs, because we're going to be one of the lowest seeds there. You have an opportunity to really and truly get better, because you've got some pieces that are great, that are young. You got a quarterback that's young. You got a running back who's not getting any miles put on his back right now. You've got some great young wide receivers. Looks like you've got a tight end, and looks like you might have another one in Blake Jarwin when he comes back from injury. You have some pieces. You just need to add more pieces to it. And next year, if they do that next year and the year after, now you're building something that you can continue to keep adding pieces to, instead of saying, let's trade this guy and let's reach for that guy and let's sign this free agent. Because it's only a short-term fix, and it just doesn't work. And that's all I got to say about that. But I am going to finish this little bit of rum. Tomorrow we'll be live streaming. I've got some work I got to do. I'm working on this video that I'm putting together, downloading all the clips and stuff like that, putting it together, and hopefully I have it finished by tomorrow. So I'm going to go take care of that. I do have last night's live stream up as a podcast. So if you missed it and you just want to hear it, you're out driving and hanging out, we can do that. You can check it out. And as soon as Michael Anthony helps this old fart over here learn how to put them up, I actually did a blog while I was driving today for about 40 minutes. And it's how I became a Dallas Cowboy fan and why I will always be a Dallas Cowboy fan. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Now, if I can just figure out how to get a little heat out here, we'd be good to go. Always, guys, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. It's going to be cold out here Monday night. Oh, it's going to be cold out here Monday night. Damn. I'll see you soon.